Hey YouTube, so I was watching a video earlier today about book peeves of people that don't like in their stories, and I thought back in my brain, I'm like, I don't really think I have any, and then I really thought of it, I'm like, wait, even though I haven't read a lot of books in my lifetime, I'm only 20 years old, but I do have a couple book pet peeves in a story. So, here are some book pet peeves. It's a short list, but it's book pet peeves in a story that I don't like. Number one is dumbasses in distress. Now, if you don't know what dumbass in distress is, you can go look up on Nostalgia Critic that he has a list of dumbass in distresses, and he explains what dumbass in distress is. But I don't like when I read a main character, that doesn't know anything or doesn't know what the fuck to do. And okay, I get it. Realistically, if we were thrown into a fantasy world or science fiction world and we don't understand the rules right away, I get that. We don't understand the politics, and I'll get to politics in a minute. We don't understand politics. We don't understand how the world works. We don't know about the monsters or demons or whatever. I get that. I understand that completely. We would not understand about how the world works right away. But I'm saying these characters don't use fucking common sense all the time. It drives me nuts. And okay, if they live in a different time period as us, that's a little bit more understandable too. But it's just like, dude, you are so fucking stupid. Use a little bit more common sense. Common sense is in our human nature. Oh my god. And then, number two is abusive boyfriends. I don't like seeing a main character who's supposed to be the strong, independent, fighting, smart young lady that's supposed to be like the hero for us young audiences to relate to and to like, but all of a sudden they date this complete jackass. And normally, when a young, strong female person in the real world, they usually are taught to avoid jackass men. And yes, sometimes we date a guy that we think is nice, and then all of a sudden they turn into a jackass. That happens. I completely understand that. But when a female character dates a jackass, it's just like, what the hell is wrong with you? It kind of makes them look like a dumbass in distress. Like, it's just like, why are you dating this jackass that's not treating you with respect? And actually, this is one of the reasons why I wasn't a huge fan of the Divergent trilogy, because it took me a while to like Tobias, but he was just so fucking annoying as shit, and I literally, when I was reading, like, the third book, Allegiant, and that wasn't until when I liked him, but in the beginning of the book, I got so fucking mad at reading Allegiant for the first couple chapters, I literally closed my book, and I went to go talk to my boyfriend at the time period. I'm like, baby, I'm so fucking pissed off with this book boyfriend. I need to talk to an actual boyfriend. But back to the list. Number three, words I don't understand. Now, this usually happens when I read a book, not a young adult book or a kid's book, but a book meant for adults. And when I read words I don't understand, that can drive me nuts. And I kind of feel like maybe these adult authors are only writing these words in the book to make it look more mature or something. And it kind of drives me nuts a little bit. And I don't really like it. It makes me feel stupid. And I get it. Sometimes we put in certain words in a book so we can be a little bit smarter and maybe look up the word, and then we're like, oh, that's what that word means. But then sometimes they put in a made-up word, and I don't know what that even means either. So, yeah, that drives me nuts too. Number four, politics. I don't really like politics, especially since Donald Trump is our fucking president. But I don't pay attention to politics. It's very boring. I never was into politics. It's not that interesting to me. And I really don't pay attention since Donald Trump is our president now. But it's just like, sometimes I will like politics in a story. Like, the Iron Face series did a pretty good job. Harry Potter did a pretty good job with politics. Even Twilight kind of made the politics seem a little bit interesting. I still like Twilight, but I'm not just going to see why people don't like it. Well, I've seen why people don't like it, but back to my list. Like, when you write politics in a story, you have to make it at least a little bit interesting, because most of your audience is young adults, and I get it, politics are part of our society, part of the world, so it would make sense that in a fantasy world, it would have politics too. But if you write it very boring in a way, it's like, oh my god, I'm so bored out of my mind, I don't like reading these politics. Can we get back to the action, or kissing, or something? I'd rather read anything but politics. Number 5, unrealistic magic or science. Now, this only happened to me maybe once in a book series, and I do like this book series, but it took me a while to get over it. But I do not like when there's some magic going on, or science fiction. I get it. Magic is fantasy, and science fiction is science fiction. I get it. It's made up. It's supposed to be made up for the story, but I don't like reading something where the magic or science, I can't get it wrapped around my head because it doesn't make a sense. Like Max Wright series, for example. That's the book series I'm talking about that made me get angry. I didn't like reading it at first, because what happened was that these kids are 98% human and 2% bird. Okay, but if they're 2% bird, why do they have big-ass wings, have hollow bones, and have vision like a freaking bird, like hawk vision? Why do they have all this stuff in them, but they're only 2% bird? I think more realistically, if someone was 2% bird, I think they would only be able to eat a lot of bird seeds and not get sick. Just saying. Okay. Now this one is me personally. This is me personally. Maybe it might be a little bit something for you too. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me on this one. But this is me personally. I do not like reading a fantasy book where there are no motherfucking unicorns. I only read maybe a handful of books where there is a unicorn in it. But I fucking hate reading a fantasy novel where they have all these mythical creatures, elves, dragons, wizards, sorcerers, sirens, all these mythical creatures into one world, but no motherfucking unicorns. And I'm not just talking about in books, I'm talking about even in TV shows, movies, and it's just like, you have a fantasy world with no fucking unicorns. Usually when we think of fantasy, we do think of unicorns. So it's just like, where's my fucking unicorns? Why are you not putting my unicorns in your stories? I want to read a fucking unicorn. I don't know. Like, I would really like to read more YA fiction books with unicorns in them, because I think that would be really fun. And also, I think it's still going on, but I do remember in 2017 and a little bit of this year, unicorns are a big thing nowadays. Like, unicorns are in food, makeup, shoes, clothes. Like, unicorns are the rage now. So maybe YA authors should put in unicorns into their fantasy novels a little bit more. Just saying. That's just me personally, though. And another thing that's a little bit personal to me, and to be honest, I have seen this a little bit less and less. The more books I read, I see it's not as uncommon now. I actually see it happen a little bit more in books, so it doesn't bug me as much. But it did bug me a little bit when I started reading, but when there's no goth or emo characters in a book. Now, as you might have seen in my old books, and yeah, I'm not dressing like it now, but I'm actually part of the gothic culture, and I actually have an emo best friend. But I don't like reading books where there's no goth or emo characters. And I'm not saying every fucking book should have goth or emo characters. Maybe it's not the thing. Maybe it's not the author's thing. maybe they're not interested, maybe they're not focused on it. But when I first started reading books, it's like main characters are either kind of or like very tomboyish, or they seem a little bit girly but not extremely girly or whatever. Though I don't read a lot of girly girls in books, mainly just tomboys that are like, the world is so bland and I'm not like any other girls. I don't wear makeup, I wear sneakers, that kind of trip. And I know people are bugged by that, but that doesn't really bother me. But it does bother me when I read books with not a lot of goth or emo characters. Like I said, this is happening less and less. I'm starting to read more goth and emo characters in books, so it doesn't bother me as much. But I do find it a little bit annoying. So that's my list of book pet peeves that I have. Some of them are just personal. Some of them might be something that bothers you. Leave a comment down below. Peace.